Hello and welcome to my podcast. This is something that I have definitely been thinking about doing for a very long time, and I've had so many people say, you should do a podcast. And I think I have no idea what I'm going to be speaking about, but I just thought, let's just give it a go. And for some reason, I was about to go outside and tan because it's a beautiful sunny day here in New South Wales. And I thought, I don't know, I was inspired to yap. So I was like, you know what? Let's give it a go. I've obviously never done this before. I have also decided to put the video on, so let's just see how it goes. Basically, who am I? I don't know. Who are any of us? I don't know where to start. Um, I am 30 this year. I'm 30 in a couple of months, which is so cool, so exciting. A lot of people seem to be surprised by my age. I put it down to hydration. I stay very hydrated all the time. If you're interested in working out what your daily minimum water intake should be, by the way, you should multiply your body weight in kilograms by 0.039. That will tell you how many liters per day minimum you need to be consuming in order to stay hydrated. If you have coffee or you do any intense workouts, that means you're going to probably need a bit more water as well. So that's how we stay hydrated. I am a holistic coach, personal trainer, and I'm currently studying naturopathy. So the end goal is to be naturopath slash coach, that sort of vibe. So see how we go with that. Um, I guess what is my purpose? I'm going to go with that. That is a big, bold question statement intro, but I'm just going to go for it because why not? My purpose in life, what I'm here to do, I believe, is help people by influencing them in a healthy, holistic, positive way. So, background why I became a personal trainer. And by the way, I never wanted to be a PT. I thought this market is so saturated, especially in the Gold Coast, which is where I was when I started. But I realized that I could help people through being a PT because a lot of people want a PT, a lot of people want to physically feel good and look good. So, why not by being a personal trainer, then help people? So, what happened, I think it was maybe 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with SIN3, which is the stage before cervical cancer. So, what happens is you get the HPV virus, but the thing is, in Australian schools, they do vaccinate you for the HPV virus, but I'm from New Zealand, so I don't think I got it. Um, anyway, you learn this from your pap smear. So you find out whether you have this or not by getting your pap smear done. So I had a pap smear that was clear. And then a year later, I had SIN3, which is kind of alarming because you'd expect to, if you had some sort of progression towards that, it to be the HPV virus or SIN1, maybe SIN2. But for it to be completely clear to then go to SIN3, they were like, the doctors, nurses were like, this is alarming, we need to address this. So the next step was to go to hospital to get a colposcopy, which is where they take, not one, I think I got three pea-sized samples of my cervix taken to confirm. And they did confirm it was SIN3. So the procedure for this to removing these precancerous cells is there's a few different ones, but they've got LETs or leap. I can't remember exactly what it was called. They cut off a layer of the cervix and burn it so that the cells don't come back. Now, that to me sounded quite scary. Everyone is different. I know a lot of people that have had it and have had great success with that surgery. But to me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try everything, and I mean everything possible to heal this naturally. And if that doesn't work, of course, I'll go get the treatment. So as expected, doctors and nurses advised against this, including my mum. She is a nurse, and she's like, "No, don't do this." But I was like, "Give me," I think I said, whatever time frame, 6 months. I'll get tested again. So I was a bit of a party girl at this stage. I think I was 22 or 23. was partying a bit. So obviously stopped the partying. I started exercising more intuitively. So, like listening to my body, not trying to kill it with strenuous workouts, but also making sure that I'm training it enough. I also cut out alcohol. I think I would have like an occasional red wine, but for the most part, like no alcohol. I would make sure I was drinking my daily minimum water intake. I think I started on keto diet, then I went to paleo, then I went to alkaline. All very similar in terms of like you're not having gluten, you have dairy in keto, but gluten, dairy, sugar, those are the main things that I ended up avoiding. And yeah, I ended up continuing getting these tests and nothing was improving. I think after 9 months of the same results, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get this treatment. I'm done with it. But then I actually, this isn't for everyone, by the way. I went and got a reading done by a psychic, and basically, at this point, I was in sales. I wasn't a PT or anything, so I was in sales. Pulled a card, and it's something about Mother Earth and nature. And then another one was like, I'm going to be in a teaching role. And I was like, I'm not going to be a teacher, and I can't see that, but okay. And the overall message from that reading I got was, don't give up yet. I'm here to help people. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep going. And from that point, I started meditating. And I don't mean just like chucking on a 10-minute guided meditation, which, by the way, is a great way to start, or even just doing some breath work. But I would go to the beach. So I was grounding, I was in nature. I would lay there before work for like at least an hour, maybe like 40 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on the day. And just I would listen to specific meditations that were about healing yourselves or healing your body. So I would be laying on the ocean, on the sand, and it wasn't sunny, so I wasn't like getting sunburn or anything. It was very early in the morning, probably like 6 or 7 a.m. Laying on the ocean, grounding, visualizing my cells in my body healing themselves. And I just did that religiously. And then I kind of just like let it be. I just kind of stopped the testing and stuff. And then it was a year and a half. So it would have been another 5 months after that point. And I was like, okay, let's just, I'm sick of going to the hospital and getting that test where they're taking samples of the cervix. Let's just go back to the GP and get a pap smear. So I was like, if what I'm doing is working, the pap smear should be clear, right? Should be good. So anyway, I did that and it came back. I was like, oh, you know what? If it's at least sin 2, that would be good, or sin 1, because I was at sin 3, next stage cervical cancer. Got my test back and it came up as just the HPV virus. We're still not completely clear, but I didn't have sin 1, sin 2, or sin 3, or cervical cancer. I just had that HPV virus, which generally goes away on its own. I was like, I did it. And my doctor was like, whatever it is you're doing, it worked. And I was like, I got laughed at by doctors and nurses at the hospital because I told them what I was doing, and they were like, it's very irresponsible of you, very stupid. And again, I am not advising against this. I'm not telling anyone to do this. I think you should do whatever you feel is right for your body. I'm not qualified as a doctor, nurse, any medical professional. I'm just sharing my experience here and what I did, and it worked. So, um, that taught me that your body is very powerful, your mind is powerful, because those meditations was teaching my mind how to heal my body. So I then was like, you know what? Maybe through being a PT, I can help other people realize this and teach them and show them. So that's why I became a PT. And yeah, now studying naturopathy so I can understand more. Let me tell you, when I was in that process of healing, I was on my phone for hours a day researching, and I researched all the supplements to take, all the best foods to take, and then adding in those meditations as well. I was like, I'm not missing anything. I'm doing everything. I'm covering everything. It did cost me a bit of money, but I was like, if that's where I'm spending my money on my health, and I am addressing this now and I learned this stuff, this knowledge is here now, like I get to keep that. And I wrote down everything that I did. So it's a pretty good investment. And now I'm nearly 30 and no one thinks that I'm 30. Most people think I'm like 25. And I'm like, well, Well, what's your secret? It's actually very easy. Like, we as humans know what's right and wrong. We just kind of wait for someone to tell us. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know that fast food or whatever like isn't going to be good. It's going to feel good. It's just going to taste good, but afterwards you're going to feel like shit, right? But if you're thinking about having like a healthy salad, like it's not really that exciting before you have it, but after you have it, you're like, okay, I'm full, I'm satisfied, and I've nourished my body. So yeah, we're not dumb. Humans know you know what you're doing. So I think that's a part of like what I'm teaching as well. Like be intuitive, like how to be intuitive, just like switch it on. Don't suppress it because you want the easy answer, you want the magic pill. Like it's not hard. It's just it requires discipline, which a lot of people lack. So basically if you can learn that discipline, it's going to change your life. So yeah, I didn't expect that to be the intro, if I'm completely honest, of this podcast. I just wanted to like sit and chat and be like, hey, this is who I am. And then maybe get some feedback and see what sort of things you guys want to hear, want me to talk about, any people you want me to interview. I haven't got the fancy studio or recording equipment. I've just kind of gone, here's my phone, here's a mic, and let's just roll with it and see what happens. If this starts going well, obviously we'll look into like professional studios and stuff, but happy just talking to my iPhone right now and seeing where we go from here. So I'll leave it there. I didn't want to make this too long. We're nearly at 12 minutes. So leave it there, see how we go. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. Um, we're just winging it. But if you've listened to this and you've come this far, thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you have learned something. And please give me some feedback. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. Bye now. Have a lovely day.